I do not believe in spoon feeding. That you should have realized by now. Uh, I don't intend to make your life difficult or torture you with so much requirements. I just want to engage you doon sa learning ng mga topics na ito because they are important. Okay? May I request you to open your cameras now for the screenshot? Okay. Rest assured that I will take note of the time of submission, no? And then of the quality of output that you have produced. No? Sandali. Dapat pinahost ko na lang to sa inyo. Oh. Show your full face, please. 1, 2, 3, full face. Wait lang. Okay.
So, tatlo lang. Yun ang dadali na.
Wait lang.
Ano yung ba? Ay,
So, we'll give them 2 minutes to join. Pag di pa sila naka-join, maghintay na lang sila ng 30 minutes. Anyway, inaral naman nila. Hopefully. No? For your output today, meron siyang column doon sa aking class record. So, although may quiz kayo mamaya, syempre na-explain ko na sa inyo kung bakit kailangan yung mag-produce ng mga outputs or mag-quiz. This is because I want you to study. Yun lang ang purpose ko. Okay. 29 participants now. So, may I share with you yung presentation. So,
basta malapit sa class.
and I will go over it quickly because you've already studied it. No?
Daan ka dito sa may Jollibee.
So,
dire-diretso pa.
iniisip ko pa kung ibibigay ko sa inyo yung online quiz or hindi. Or I will give you, you might need to give me time to finish it kasi hindi ko pa siya na-encode sa online. Meron ng ready na pero hindi pa siya naka-form.
Sa kabila, drawers.
Start share.
Then sa kabila, mga cabinet.
Okay, can you see my screen? Ito din yung presentation. Okay.
Anong klase?
So, organizational culture class is one of the most potent tool, no, in management of public.
POR na lang din natin.
Okay, medyo na okay, going back.
So, X na lang.
So, can you see my screen?
Yung mga gamit pa rin, hindi natin isasapin. Ginamit yung posters sa
So, there is an effect of organizational culture to performance, no? Ibig sabihin, yung mga halimbawa yung mga agencies or yung mga organizations na kung saan mabibilang kayo ay merong distinct na culture ang mga yan, no? So an understanding of the concept of organizational culture will help you grow, no, in public service and leadership. Okay? Let me see. So sabi dito, it is one of these invisible, no? Invisible and powerful force shaping the functions of public service. In public administration, it critically influences policy decisions. Okay? And so in this presentation, as you have already reviewed it, no, the objectives are as follows. One, to understand what organizational culture is. Secondly, to identify the sources or the factors that shape culture in the organization, and as well as the background of the theory surrounding this concept of organizational culture. Third is to analyze major models and frameworks. Hindi naman marami, konti lang. And then evaluate the impact of culture on performance. And there is a short bit about the application of the concept to Philippine public administration. Wait lang. So, you should understand this from the perspective of professional in training. Ano ang sinabi ko sa inyo palagi? Na we try to understand the world conceptually, theoretically, and not from the layman's perspective. Okay? Ibig sabihin, meron ng prior studies about these aspects of behavior, and these are studied, no, and many of them are accepted widely by the academic community. Okay, so what is organizational culture? So you should be able to remember the definition, no? So ano pa talaga yan, diba? I do recall, and I always say to my students na culture, which is a sociological concept, is the product of social interaction. Okay? But organizational culture is defined many ways, no? Like in the study by Ortega Parra and Sastre Castillo, it is a system of shared values, beliefs, behavioral patterns, and norms that guide the decisions of people within the organization. Also, norms perceived by the members of organizations that influence behavior make up what you call organizational culture. That's according to Snyder. So remember this name because later on there is a theory that was introduced about culture. A pattern of shared basic assumptions learned by groups. Shane. But in simpler ways, organizational culture refers to the ways things are done. So, once you become part of an organization, you have to be observant ng klaseng culture meron. And then, it's also a challenge. It will also be a challenge for you to be a change agent because there are organizational cultures that are effective in terms of how how they how it influences yung efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. In short, yung success and failure of an organization is closely linked to the issue of organizational culture. Okay, ano pa? Pinupost ko kasi ito kaya matagal.
Concern lang. Pero kung
So, but if you have any questions, you can interrupt me and use your microphone so that we can address your questions. So, why is it important for you to understand the concept of organizational culture as well as its nature or aspects? It is important as public administrators in training for you to realize that culture strongly affects decision making, no? So napag-aralan na natin yung decision making, and then we have come to know that culture also influence motivation, and then how to engage the personnel in the goals and the efforts towards achieving the goals of the organization. Next is, organizational culture determines how organizations respond to external challenges. And by external challenges, we mean what may be the changes in the society and the situation, political and social and economic. So how does a public sector organization respond to any of these changes? So culture is a very important influencing factor on how it can deal with challenges. And then ultimately, it affects overall organizational performance and success. So may connection, di ba? May connection yung paano nagiging productive, high achiever yung isang organization o yung opisina doon sa kung paano nagbe-behave yung mga tao sa loob ng opisina. Okay? And moving on, so nasaan kayo? Okay? You have to imagine yourself, no? Especially those who have already finished their review or output for this topic, alam nyo na. So halimbawa dito sa topic, we come to the topic on saan ba galing yung culture. So there are two main theories about this. Ang galing yung organizational culture. Ito yung pangalan ng mga theories: founders' influence and organizational learning. And each of these theory is based on certain assumption, no? For founders' influence, parang conservative ito, that it holds that yung culture ng founders, yung organizers, or yung alam niyo yung founders, yung sino nagsimula ng organization, sila mostly ang nagbuo ng culture. So culture kasi mahirap ang culture na acquire yan. So pero sa organization, parang dito sa theory na ito, sinasabi na yung founder or organizer ng organization ay ang siyang shape kung anong klaseng culture meron yung organization. So for ang example dito yung kay Steve Jobs sa Apple. And then this can be these founders may include yung mga leaders, pwedeng elected or appointed, or certain administrators that have specific advocacies in their lives. So parang meron silang mission to change or transform their organization. So anong tawag natin dito sa theory na to? Founders influence. The second idea about where organizational culture comes from is known as organizational learning. And this one is very easy, no? And probably you would accept you would accept without doubt, because this is scientific, because it says that culture is learned. Okay, like you are not born with culture. We learn culture. So yung theory na ang tao ay blank slate, or yung theory of tabula rasa, the concept of tabula rasa, that whatever the individual becomes is a product of learning from his or her environment. So according to this, culture evolves through experiences, interaction with the environment, and political and social influences. And nowadays, of course, you know that that these are not only the ones influencing behavior people, no? And I'm talking about information or internet, or nowadays we have AI that might be influencing people's behavior. And you already know that the new public management accepts the idea that technology or information technology should be adopted in the government. Diba? Yung ngayon may AI na. Kahit sa Supreme Court ngayon may AI na. They have declared it as a policy. Okay, now let us proceed to the background of the theories about organizational culture. So there are five highlights here. So let's take a look at each one of them. So in 1951, Elliot Jacques introduced the early idea about workplace culture. Okay, that's the first study. And then so what is workplace culture? So there was a study about that. And in the 1980s, culture gains prominence, and it is linked to organizational behavior and social sciences. Okay? 1980s yan. Hindi pa kayo pinapanganak. Ano nangyari? In 1982, Peters and Waterman identified the characteristics of excellent companies, and in 1985, Edgar Schein formalizes its influence on the three aspects of culture. In 1992, Cotter and Hesketh established a strong link between culture and performance. So remember these names, class. Schein, Cotter, and Schein is about introduce the theory of the three levels or organizational culture, and Cotter and Hesketh established the interrelationship between culture and performance. let's take a look at Shane's theory of the 3 levels of culture. So, tungkol saan ba ito? So, artifacts, sabi niya ito yung mga levels. Siyempre, yung what is obvious, that's what you call artifacts. So, artifacts are visible elements like dress code, office layout, procedure. Ano pang pwede nating i-classify dito sa artifacts? So, these are visible manifestations of culture. The second one is values, no? So, what are espoused values? These are declared beliefs and strategies such as mission, vision, goals, and objectives. Ito, ini-express yan, no? They are well-defined, no? Well-defined norms. Pag sinabi natin norms, ginagawa niyang part ng policy o kaya part ng way of doing things, procedure. So, tawag natin dyan ay espoused value. And then the third level of culture is that which is deeper. Ito yung hindi nakikita. Pero, dapat mas maunawaan natin na yung mga artifacts at saka mga espoused values, mga policies, merong mas malalim na ugat yan. O kaya yung way of doing things, interaction with other people. So, basic assumptions at that level, culture pertains to deep and conscious beliefs that drive behavior. And the thing is, these are things that are difficult to change. So, halimbawa, si Ma'am Beltran, ang share ko na lang sa inyo. Ang culture ko is, ang behavior ko towards, halimbawa, when I am presented with a set of facts, I do not accept automatically. I have this predisposed orientation that I have to give the benefit of the doubt. So, hindi ka mag-rush into a decision. Hindi ako magagawa ng judgment dahil ganun na train yung brain ko na halimbawa, kahapon nagpapa-recite ako tapos may hindi nag-recite. No? So, isang oras ang lumipas, kahit isang linya, hindi siya nag-memorize. Kahit sinabi ko, nagkaroon ako ng message na for memorization. So, that is very clear, diba? So, anong nangyari? Siyempre, hindi ako nag-judge. Hindi ko alam kung saan nanggagaling yung student. Dahil baka mamaya mayroon siyang problema sa health or finances, hindi ko alam. So ganun. I just give the benefit of the doubt, no? And then I also have this tendency to be kind kahit na hindi halata, 'di ba? Kahit hindi halata kay Ma'am Beltran na she's kind. We should be kind, no, to other people. But we have to have that certain discipline. Ako naman, meron akong predisposition na I want to do my part as a change agent. So meaning, as a teacher, I have to change yung behavior ng students ko for their own good, diba? It's not important. It's not as much important that you are able to, for me, that you are able to memorize concepts and be excellent and get the highest scores in the quizzes and exams. What's the most important thing for me is for you to be able to acquire those values that will remain with you for the rest of your life as public administrators later on, and leaders. So yun lang yung may share ko sa inyo about basic assumptions. So these are aspects of culture that you don't automatically see, no? Nandyan kasi yan sa utak ng tao, and that guides the behavior of people. Pero ano yan, challenge yan sa mga human resource managers. How can they change yung basic assumptions ng mga tao sa organization? Okay? Ang culture kasi na-acquire, di ba? Pero ang hirap baguhin. Mahirap baguhin ang culture. So there must be deliberate strategy to change behavior. So we come now to the topic on denizens for cultural traits. So for this discussion, it will help you to remember the mnemonics. Ito na naman si ma'am sa mnemonics. The mnemonics for this is ICAM. Okay? ICAM.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So for I, we are talking about the cultural traits. Ibig sabihin, ano ba yung features ng culture sa organization? Okay? I is for involvement. So what does involvement mean? This is engagement, no? How employees participate and are empowered to foster a sense of belongingness in the organization. How do they participate? What is I? Involvement. So parang naalala nyo na yung definition of love, di ba? May I din yun. And then you have consistency. Consistency refers to shared values and internal integration which create a unified organization. Okay? So, what this means is dapat yung culture makikita natin sa majority, hindi lang sa paisa-isa, no? So, merong consistency doon sa behavior ng mga tao na bumubuo sa organization. And then the next one is adaptability. So what is adaptability? This is the ability to respond effectively to the environment. Okay. Merong minention dito na market demands. But in the area of public administration, this would mean demands of the public for certain services. Okay, so anong kailangan? Dapat yung organization flexible, di ba? To address kung ano yung current na situation sa community. And then, the fourth one is mission. So, very important ito sa organizational culture. The people should be aware of what the end goal of the organization is. Example nito yung zero hunger. Halimbawa, yan yung mission ng isang organization. Siguro social works yan, no? So it should be clear enough for everyone kung ano yung goal ng organization para lahat ng kilos nila ay naka-align doon sa end goal ng organization. May nakalagay dito, strategic alignment. Okay, what is our mnemonics? ICAM for the 4 traits of organizational culture. And now we come to the topic on types of organizational culture. Okay? Kung may ICAM doon sa features ng culture, dito naman sa typology or kinds of culture, meron tayong CAM. Okay, CAHM. Okay. So for C, we have clan culture, A, adhocracy culture, H, hierarchy culture, and M for market culture. So, isa-isahin natin yan. So, pag sinabi natin clan culture, pag pumasok ka sa isang organization, makikita mo na bakit ano sila, para silang yung iba parang may gang-like culture or alam, napaka-close nila na pati yung mga personal na affairs nila, hindi sila nag-atubili na i-share yan. So, clan culture features a family-like environment, emphasizing teamwork, participation, and cohesion. So, parang maganda, diba? CAHM. C for clan culture. A for adhocracy culture, which focuses on innovation, risk-taking, and a flexible entrepreneurial spirit. What this means is that the organization's culture is flexible. Okay, it is flexible and it easily adapts to changes in the environment. And it is so innovative that it will easily come up with novel solutions. Okay? Halimbawa nito, ano ba magandang halimbawa? War scenario. Parang ang dami kasing balita ngayon na baka mamaya bigla na lang mag-World War III. So, an adhocracy culture-oriented organization will be thinking in advance to address prospective situations like paano kung nagyera tapos wala nang mabili sa market ng mga basic needs ang mga tao. How do you prepare for that kind of situation in advance? Okay, I think for an organization with adhocracy culture, they will be thinking of orienting the people about this and to give them some tools, no? Like halimbawa, they can start people putting up their own home gardens, 'di ba? Kasi kapag wala nang mabili sa palengke, at least meron ka makuha na malunggay sa bakuran mo or turuan yung mga Pilipino gumamit ng mga renewable energies. So, halimbawa lang yun. So, anong klaseng culture yun? Adhocracy culture. The third one is very familiar to you. Hierarchy culture. So, this is related to the theory of bureaucracy. Diba? Organizations, especially public organizations, are governed by laws. No? So, itong type ng culture na ito ay nakabase doon sa anong dinefine ng mga laws about how things are done. No? So, these are characterized by rules halimbawa of communications, kanino ultimately magre-report, sino answerable for what, and procedures, control, and stability, which is, of course, as you know, common in government. So, we connect this to the concept of bureaucracy. And lastly, itong market culture. So, market culture is the kind of organizational culture driven by competition. It's results-oriented, yung sinasabi nilang outputs-based ngayon, and then achieving external goals. So, these seem to be ideal, or I might say the best models that fit yung tinatawag nating utilitarian kasi lahat sinusukat, no? Sinusukat lahat sa very scientific, very rational, and behavior is driven by the goals, competition, okay, and then yung performance based na measures of performance. Okay. So these are the 4 types of culture. Okay? Sana maalala nyo yung topic na ito with the mnemonics CAHM. C-A-H-M. Okay, what's the next slide? Nandiyan pa ba kayo? Bahala kayo kung wala na kayo dyan. The next slide is about the topic on strong and weak culture. So we have to deal with the concept of the kind of strong culture, organizational culture, vis-a-vis its opposite, which is weak. No? Intindihan natin na a strong culture in the organization is characterized by shared values. What does that mean? Pare-pareho yung kung anong mahalaga sa bawat member ng organization. Yung mga personnel, alam nila kung ano yung ways ng kanilang opisina. Ano yung mga protocols, di ba? At ano yung justification, bakit ganun yung mga procedures. And then, kung paano ginagawa, limbawa yung services, ano ang rationale or justification ng kung paano dinideliver ang services sa public. And then, you have high commitment. So, hindi na kailangang explain. High commitment would be obvious when people are engaged, no? Active, participative in the efforts of the organization to achieve its goals. Halimbawa, ano nga yung example natin kanina? Zero hunger. Tama ba yun? Zero hunger. So, paano ka magiging committed doon sa mission ng organization mo? And we are saying that your organization has a strong culture. Dapat lahat ng personnel sa opisina nyo, nandoon yung drive na hahanapin yung mga families or individuals who are not able to get the proper nutrition, di ba? Or hindi sila, or nakakakain ba sila, and those other related factors like may trabaho ba sila para may pagkunan sila ng pagkain nila or pambili ng pagkain, and alignment with organizational goals. So take note of the 3 indicators of a strong culture. 1, shared values. 2, high commitment. And 3, alignment with organizational goal. So that this emphasizes that strong culture improve long-term performance. Kapag may ganito yung organization, consistently they can easily maintain yung level ng outputs nila or performance nila. Okay? So, halimbawa, how do we measure yung performance? So, ilang tao yung na-reach out? Ilang tao na nagugutom or hindi nakakakuha ng tamang nutrition ang na-identify, no? So, number yan, na-identify saan, ano yung mga areas, halimbawa, ano yung mga areas na kung saan nagkakaroon ng hunger. So, doon sa example natin. Kung ang lahat ng members ng organization has that sense of shared orientation about how to deal with their with the social situation, and how to improve their office, no, in attaining uh, yung mga accomplishments, no. On the other hand, meron tayong tinatawag na weak culture. Okay, yung kung kanina sinabi natin na may shared values, high commitment, and alignment with goals. Yung weak culture naman, it leads to confusion. There is poor communication. So, ang daming memo. Tapos, iba-iba yung interpretation. So, hindi alam ng mga tao kung anong gagawin nila. Diba? So, naguluhan. Diba? And a lack of clear direction. Ano ba talaga ang gusto ng organization? Sige. Ito yung weak culture. Hindi siya masyadong useful doon sa kung paano pagbubutihin ng gobyerno ang delivery ng services, okay, sa mga tao. In government agencies, this often results in fragmented service delivery and inconsistency in policy implementation. So, ano ang implication niyan? If an organization has a weak culture, anong mangyayari is doon sa tinatawag nating public trust, diba? Yung public trust, bumababa siya kasi nawawala ng integrity yung office or yung organization. Okay? So, in the future, if you will be administrators and leaders, no? You have to remember itong lecture na ito. You have to do all whatever you can to build a strong organizational culture. Okay? Kasi hindi maganda yung weak culture. Okay? Hindi ko na kasi makita ito kung ito ay umaandar o hindi. Ayan. May question ba? And the next one is the next topic is about the elements of effective culture. So kanina na-discuss natin yung strong culture, diba? And then here we want to understand the elements of an effective culture. An organizational culture that is effective is one that of course leads to a strong culture. Na ano ba yung natin, parameters natin kanina, indicators natin ay commitment, di ba? Commitment, alignment with the goals, and what's the other one? Alignment with the goals and shared values. And then what are these elements? So our mnemonics for this topic is TCSL. Okay, TCSL. Elements of effective culture. T, trust. Okay, trust, transparency, and high employee engagement. Okay, so that is number 1. Hindi na kailangan explain yan. That supports yung goal ng government na makita ng public yung integrity ng isang organization, so that they can build yung trust ng public. Their trust works both ways, no? Customer and citizen oriented service. Okay. So the second element is that the organization should always be oriented towards that goal of service. Okay? Yun ang end goal na we can serve the public. Okay? And so yung behavior ng mga tao, especially when they're dealing with the public, is that they have to deliver, services to the public properly, effectively, and efficiently. The next one is strong ethical decision making and integrity. Okay, so we have already finished the topic on ethics, di ba? So whatever ethical model you are using, you have to be consistent, and it has to be ethical kapag we are, halimbawa, shaping policies for public services. And this decision making must be strongly based on ethical frameworks. Ano bang gagamitin yung ethical framework? Virtue ba? Utilitarian ba kayo? Or consequentialist? No. What's that? Normative. Okay? Or Kantian ba? Basta make sure that there is integrity. Ibig sabihin po ng integrity that whatever the organization expresses in the form of policy must be consistent with what it is doing, no? Diba? Dapat kung anong sinabi mo, ginagawa mo. Okay? Yung karamihan ng mga leaders ang galing magsalita, no? Pero pag titingnan mo yung ginagawa, baliktad yung ginagawa nila. Hindi yan ethical. At syempre walang integrity. Pero yung mga tao kasi hindi nila nahahalata. At yung mga ganyang leaders, wala silang pakialam kung anong magiging nature ng decision making nila. I think they're sociopaths. Yung sinasabi nating sociopaths, yung they're evil. Alam nila na mali yung ginagawa, yung ginagawa nila hindi lumalapat doon sa ini-express nilang policy. Sinasabi nila, we hate corruption, pero yun ang ginagawa nila. Nag-under the table sila, may mga SOP sila, o kaya sinasabi nila na we are anti-nepotism, pero lahat ng mga appointees nila halos may connection sa kanila. Okay, so hindi yan ethical, diba? And then the last one is leadership excellence that inspires and motivates. Okay, wag na nga nating i-explain yan kasi self-explanatory yan. Kapag nakita ng mga personnel, ng mga subordinates na very noble yung character mo sa leader, may inspire sila. Makita nila yung integrity mo, makita nila yung moral leadership mo, mamomotivate sila sa kanilang ginagawa. At yan ay somehow yan ay magiging part ng kanilang pagkatao. Okay? Yan yung sinasabi natin na na-influence na yung culture ng ibang tao. Okay, malapit na. 5 minutes.
After na lang daw nila ako bayaran na. Mahal na. Ma'am?
Hindi ko alam kung nandyan pa kayo. Wala na kayo. Measuring organizational culture. So bakit kailangang i-measure, no, yung organizational culture? Kasi gusto nating baguhin nga kung meron pa siyang flaws or imperfections. Because we want to build a strong organizational culture, we have to start with something. Dapat ano tayo, scientific, 'di ba? So maalala niyo yung sinabi ko sa inyo, na if you cannot measure it, you cannot deal with it. It's not true, 'di ba? You should be always have that orientation na I have to have the empirical basis. Okay. So why is it important to measure culture?
Reading to, no? Reading.
But first of all, it says here that there is no universal standard.
Meron na siya.
Okay, there is no universal standard of measuring culture. But there are many models. So, halimbawa dito yung si O'Reilly et al. Ang kanyang parameters or indicators are adaptability, integrity, collaboration, and results orientation. So, pwedeng magsasurvey ka pertaining to each of these trait, and then you siguro compute for the average weighted mean para malaman mo kung ano yung score ng bawat indicator. And then you can perhaps correlate it to another aspects of the organization, say perhaps performance. And then another theory by Flamholtz and Randall emphasizes customer or employee orientation, accountability, innovation, and process. Okay, so magkaiba sila ng di ba? Magkaiba sila ng parameters. So, maaari kayong gumawa ng sarili nyong model, no? But we have to emphasize that measurement helps to identify the gaps between desired and actual values. And of course, as I said, crucial in the building of a strong organizational culture. 2 minutes. 1 hour na pala ako.
Sino kung walang kanin?
Kulang lang yung anak ko.
Ikaw, Sir Will.
Timer lang.
Here, or culture and performance. So what these figures here say is that pinag-aralan na yung correlation ng culture at saka performance. And it has been established na mayroong kinalaman yung isa't isa. So according to this slide, the majority studies confirm that culture significantly affects performance and that it can influence up to 46% of earnings or accomplishments and explains around 25% of the variance. Yung variance dito, class, ay yung ano yung target mo tapos ilan yung hindi mo nakuha. Okay, parang ganun. While some argue that relationship is indirect, often mediated by factors like employee commitment, its impact on efficiency, service quality, and public trust in the public sector, the link is undeniable. Okay, talagang connected dyan. So, pag in the future you will become public administrators, just remember about organizational culture because it's a very strong influencing factor on the performance of an organization. Culture in corporate and government systems. So, in the complex structures like corporate culture, meaning yung businesses, no, and in the government as well, culture is a unifying factor. Okay, lack of cultural integration can lead to failures. Okay, so studies show that cultural mismatch contributes up to 89% of failures or gap variation. So in government, misaligned agency culture leads to policy fragmentation, underscoring that culture must align with strategy. Okay, so the bosses must know about this, diba? Minsan napopromote yung isang tao and then hindi pala siya nakaprepare to deal with this aspect of managing strategy yun. No? So kapag kayo naging boss or leader, isipin nyo yung organizational culture, very powerful na tool yan para mag-succeed kayo. Synthesis and application. So organizational culture is a strategic asset for success. Effective leadership is key in shaping and nurturing culture. Strong and positive cultures consistently enhance performance. Alignment between culture and organization strategy is critical. And in the Philippines, cultural change is vital for anti-red tape, transparency, and citizen-centered government reforms. Okay. There's just a few minutes more. And conclusion, organizational culture is not just an abstract concept. So it is a determinant of success or failure. As future administrators, your role is to extend beyond managing systems to actively shape culture. Okay? And policies may change quickly, but cultures evolve slowly. Remember that. And ultimately determining the success and failure of organization. And the last slide is coming up. Last slide. I hope you are still there. Ano ba yung last slide? The last slide is just a pair of takeaway questions. Ang takeaway questions, ito pag-iisipan nyo ito, no? Connected with our topic on organizational culture. Ang tanong, number 1, is culture more powerful than strategy? Or vice versa, can we consider culture as a strategy? And the second one is, can public sector reform succeed without cultural transformation? So I'm curious about what your answers will be. So, but at this point, I hope that you learn the basics about organizational culture. So, and thank you for listening. Bye.